Well,
go ahead.
We have to talk about the new record that's coming, the live album. What's on it?
Here we are. I'll go and get the cover because I can't remember. I've got the
oh, there's the cover.
There's the cover. So I haven't seen it before. I mean, not finished. Punk rockers.
Okay.
Only Top Women. If You Can't Rock Me, Get Off My Cloud, which is together. Happy, Hot Stuff, and Starfucker. We can say that, can't we? Or Star, we cut it. And side 2, Tumbling Dice, Fingerprint File, You Gotta Move, and You Can't Always Get What You Want. On side 3, which is the one we did in a club in Toronto, we got Mannish Boy. Never before.
No, that's a new one.
Cracking Up, which is another
new one.
Little Red Rooster, which we don't normally do. And Around, which we haven't done for you. And side 4 is It's Only Rock and Roll, Brown Sugar, Jumping Jack Flash, and Sympathy for the Devil.
Satisfaction, it's not on it?
No, sorry about that.
The first one.
We're sorry.
Without Satisfaction.
I'm sorry, but we didn't put that in. But we tried to put as much on as we could. It's a lot of time, you know, it's like about 80 minutes, I think.
Does it cover the whole period of existence of the Rolling Stones?
What, you mean the recordings? They're all done last year and this year?
All the numbers.
The numbers. Well, they don't go back really that... These are the ones that really are old, you know, this is the oldest probably. You know, this is on the first album, right?
White Rhythm and Blues.
This was on the first album, right? And then there's a bit of a jump, you know, most of them are sort of middle period, whatever you want to call it, the blue period. That's it, really. It's not bad. I mean, I'm bored with it.
Well, I think it covers...
Because I've played it so many times.
It covers the whole period of existence.
Yeah, more or less.
What's the most happy part of the period?
Of this?
Of the period. The whole existence of the Rolling Stones for you.
The happiest? Oh, wow. It's all been terribly miserable. The happiest period of it. I don't know, really. It's impossible to say. You know, there's been ups and downs.
The last period is, let me say, discotheque music.
Well, a little bit, you know. And not much. I mean, when you actually think about it, not that much. A bit, though. I mean, that's what, you know, you can't help but be influenced by what you do. You know, if you go dancing and you hear that every night, you can't help but write that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, you know, so whatever next, you know, whatever happens next.
Yes, well, that's my next question. Whatever.
Well, I don't know. See, until I get... Well, I do know, actually, but I'm not going to tell you. I would guess that the next album will be very heavy rock and roll album.
Like punk?
No, I don't think it'd be like that. No. Much better.
Mick Jagger stonden de nummers op die op de nieuwe live dubbel LP staan. Het is voor 80 minuten live Rolling Stones muziek. Veel oude nummers, maar ook oude nummers zoals Little Red Rooster. Maar ook nieuwe nummers op die LP. En ik noem er even de 2 nieuwe nummers op. Mannish Boy en Cracking Up. De laatste tijd maken de Rolling Stones ook veel discotheekachtige nummers. Maar voor de nabije toekomst voorziet Mick Jagger dat er wel weer heavy rock'n'roll op de plaats zal komen. Het hele Rolling Stones bestaan heeft trouwens vergeven gezeten van ups en downs. Aldus Mick Jagger. For the forefront for many other rock groups.
Sorry, it's very weird English, that one.
That's a struggle in the beginning.
Yeah.
Forefront fight, we call it in Holland.
Yeah, what does it mean though?
Do
you think we've been in the front of the fight?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes,
Maybe for many other movements in the society.
No, not really. I don't. A little bit. You know, we've done our share. You know, but I don't, you know, feel overburdened by it particularly. You understand me?
Oh, a little bit. That's enough. I can listen to it afterwards.
Yeah, maybe.
While the Rolling Stones audience has grown up with their favorite group, with you, exactly. They have respectable jobs now.
Not all of them. Some of them don't have any jobs at all.
And they have the money to see you and to buy the records.
Well, not all of them. You'd be surprised.
But the
I
audience
mean, that's right in Holland, you know. I mean, you're talking about Holland, but obviously, which is the right thing to do for you. I mean, I get letters from people in Czechoslovakia and Poland and Indonesia who don't have any money, who don't have any jobs, who don't have any records, and they only hear little bits on the radio, and people in Russia, you know. And, you know, not everyone has money, and not everyone is old enough to even have money.
So you don't think the audience has changed?
Oh yeah, they've changed a lot enormously, but I haven't done any kind of, no one's ever done any, you know, I don't know what the audience consists of, you know. If you go to, say, well, in your country, we've never been to Spain, you know, and we played in Spain where the audience is very, very young. I mean, really young. I mean, under 20, all of them, you know, and they change. And if you go to a country like England, you might get, it depends on where you play, you might get people older than I am, you know, and people half my age. Whereas if you go to play, I remember when we played in Milan, it was all 12-year-olds. I mean, it changes, it depends where you are, you know. I'm obviously talking about Holland, you know. I mean, Holland last time, you remember in Holland? And there were Hell's Angels and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
I saw telling you about Hell's Angels in Holland.
Weren't they charming?
You told me you have the audience half your own age. You're in your 30s now. How long will you...
No, before I die. I can't say I might die tomorrow.
You will give performances till you die?
No, absolutely not. Like Marlene Dietrich?
No, Frank Sinatra, I suppose.
Oh, no, it's awful. I think it's disgraceful. I hate it, you know. I mean, I don't think so. I think it's not... I mean, when Frank Sinatra tries to move like he can't move his foot, you know, like it's... you know. I mean, it's sick. You know, I don't want to be like that. And I mean, I don't feel like I can do it. You know, I mean, when I feel I can do it, you know. And I feel I can kick anyone up the arse, you know.
How long will you continue?
I don't know. But I mean, right now I can kick anyone up the arse, you know, so I go on until I can. But if I feel I really can't anymore, then I'll stop.
De Rolling Stones fans zijn opgegroeid met de groep. Of ze zijn werkeloos of ze zijn rijk. Dat werkeloze, dat voegde Mick Jagger er cynisch aan toe. Maar ze zijn in ieder geval wel ouder geworden. 30ers vaak. En ze hebben genoeg geld om alle Stones LP's in huis te halen. Maar ook om de dure concerten te gaan bezoeken. In landen waar de Stones niet eerder heeft opgetreden, zoals bijvoorbeeld in Spanje, is de aanhang daarentegen zeer jong. Net zoals bij ons in het begin, zo'n dikke 10 jaar geleden. Van Nederland herinnert Mick Jagger zich in ieder geval wel goed de Hells Angels, die de afgelopen concerten nogal zuur hebben gemaakt van de Rolling Stones. Daar komen we later meer over te vertellen. Van wat er voor de ogen van Mick Jagger niet allemaal kan gebeuren. In ieder geval vertelde Mick Jagger, hij is een eind in de 30, dat hij pas zal ophouden met muziek maken als hij het idee heeft dat hij dat niet meer kan. Een soort Frank Sinatra of Marlene Dietrich zit er volgens hem dus niet in. Many awful things happen in front of your eyes, in the audience.
In Holland last year.
Yeah. Does it have any influence on your performance?
Yeah. When we were in Holland, you know, I really hated it, you know, because I saw it all going before we came on, you know. And it made us late going on, and it makes you very unhappy that the audience has to go through this kind of, you know, thing. And the police were afraid to go in. You remember? I don't know if you were there, but the police didn't want to go and disrupt the audience and all that, you know. And that had to be, and so it obviously affects you. You know, it's much better if the audience is in a good mood than they're being, you know, abused by a few people, you know. Of course it affects you.
So you
have to try and make up for it, you know, by being better than you usually were. Actually, the concerts in Holland were the recordings. I don't know actually what they looked like, but I heard the recordings of them, and actually there's one or two on this album. I can't remember which ones are from Holland.
You remember the Curaçao in '64 or something?
Oh yeah, I saw a film of it on the television the other night. Funnily enough, and that was one of the most violent of all.
Yeah.
mean, it's amazing, you guys. But we only did 4 numbers. I don't think we got paid. So it's the first time we left England. We'd never left England before. We'd never been out of England.
The Kurzaal isn't anymore.
They pulled it down?
I think it was the beginning of the end.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, because it was very beautiful. Do you remember those tapestries?
De Kurzaal, dat was een optreden 13 jaar geleden ruim. Daar hebben de Stones maar 4 nummers kunnen spelen. Toen werd de zaal volledig afgebroken. Alle stoelen werden naar het publiek, naar de bühne geslingerd. En de politie had de handen daaraan vol. Het was trouwens het eerste optreden dat de Stones buiten Engeland hebben gedaan. Mick Jagger voelt zich nog wel erg triest inwendig worden van politieoptredens als er ernstige dingen gebeuren vlak voor zijn ogen wanneer hij staat te zingen. En dat kan ik me ook wel voorstellen, ook als vlak voor je iemand in elkaar wordt geramd. Of de politie dat doet, of dat mensen elkaar dat aandoen. Dat laat hij in het midden.
LP van de Rolling Stones. Love You Live.
But we only did 4 numbers. I don't think we got paid. So it's the first time we left England. We'd never left England before. We'd never been out of England.
The Kurzaal isn't anymore.
They pulled it down?
I think it was the beginning of the end.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, because it was very beautiful. Do you remember those tapestries?
Een dubbel LP met 2 uur lang ouwe. En nieuwe nummers. Vanmiddag tussen 2 en 4 een interview van Theo Stokkink met Mick Jagger.
But, you know the ones I mean. But it's absolute fallacy. I mean, you don't have to be poor to be good. Just to be clever.
So you are clever.
No, I didn't say I was any good.
You're not poor.
Well, I didn't say I was poor.
So you must be clever.
No. You know, you lost the head deduction. No. You don't have to be poor to be good. You just have to be clever. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you're clever. It's not clever to be poor.
Okay, you can say you are poor. That's clever.
De Rolling Stones tussen 2 en 4 bij KRO op Hilversum 3.
A number like It's Only Rock and Roll. There you have, I can say, what's the word? Irrelevance of the rock music.
The what?
Irrelevance.
I don't understand.
In that number you want to say that rock and roll is not so important at all.
Yeah, it's not important, yeah.
Was it real what you mean?
Yeah, I really mean it isn't.
And now?
It's not important at all. I mean, anyone that says it's important is wrong. And as far as music's concerned, that's what I just said to these other gentlemen that were here, that it's like the most minor art form of music that there exists. It's true. Because anyone can play it, but it doesn't make it an art form just because everyone can play it. Though Beethoven said that any piece of music played live was better than any piece of music written down.
Well, as we already said, you are in your 30s now, and people say it's well known. I can see it. You have a perfect condition. You're hanging on the pedals and dancing and singing on the stage. How can you manage it?
Well, you just my advice to you young people: stay off dope and live the healthy life. No, you have to really. No, but you really have to watch it, you know. Yeah, the thing is that, you know, you can't push it too hard, and you must, you know, really watch it and not overdo it. Everyone in Holland knows that anyway, because they all ride bicycles, which is very good for you, including Queen Juliana, who rides a bicycle all the time.
That's...
Well, no, she does. I mean, it's an example, you see, So if you ride a bicycle a mile a day, then you're going to be going for much longer than all these Americans. They just discovered that in America. You know, we've known that for a long time. You know, but you have to exercise it all the time. Otherwise, you just fall to pieces.
Oh, there's somebody for you.
Got the doggy, you know. Push the doggy in the fridge.
I can broadcast this on the radio.
Yeah, this would be interesting. How we give Dutch journalists beer. What do you think about Rod and Britt?
Rod and Britt, yes. Well, I don't know.
Poor Britt, you know, I feel sorry for her, you know.
It costs lots of money.
Yeah, I feel sorry for her.
20,000. I've heard 20,000.
No, I think Britt's been very hard done by. And I just rehearses my old grey whistle test.
Well, more about Love You Live now.
Love You Live.
Yes, that's all.
Love You Dead.
Geen variatie op de titel dus. Love You Live. Over en weer wordt het publiek ingeschakeld. Dat wil zeggen een variatie over We Want You of We Want More. In ieder geval, wij houden van het live optreden van de Rolling Stones. Daarvoor brachten we heel eventjes ter sprake dat Mick Jagger op zijn leeftijd er nog perfect uitziet. Nog over het podium springt en danst. Wel, hij zegt dat hij geen drugs gebruikt. Hij zegt dat. En het advies van Mick Jagger is dan ook aan Hollanders om te gaan fietsen. En toen kwam er een ober binnen die een verfrissing aanreikte. En Mick bracht dat op te praten over Rod Stewart en Britt Eklund. Hoe het met zijn eigen Bianca is, daar is niet over gepraat. After all, who is nowadays your most favorite man or woman in history?
Oh my God, what a weird question. My favorite man in history. What a funny question.
Mick is thinking.
That's a difficult one. Just change it all. I can't answer. I may come back to that one.
All right. That's bad.
But that's a really difficult one, though, because there's so many people on the mind.
Another difficult one for you?
Go on.
No, this is not just a cliche. I say, and I know, great music, especially great pop music, has developed in conditions of misery, even
Rubbish.
pain.
Absolutely nonsense.
Pain and having to fight
Not
every
true.
step. No?
No.
Why not?
There's a fallacy of artistry. This is a fallacy that the Dutch have, got up, through the years by persecuting all their favourite painters, But, the ones I mean.
Mm-hmm.
But it's absolute fallacy. I mean, you don't have to be poor to be good. Just to be clever.
So you are clever.
No, I didn't say I was any good.
You're not poor.
Well, I didn't say I was poor.
So you must be clever.
No. You lost the head deduction. No. You don't have to be poor to be good.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be clever. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you're clever. It's not clever to be poor.
Okay, you can say you're poor. That's clever.
I can say to you, yes, I was starving years ago, it was awful, and that's what inspired me. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
I was never poor or hungry, I mean, I may have been poor, but I was never hungry. And, I don't think it gave me an inspiration at all to be poor. And everyone was poor when they were at college, at school. No one had any money. You didn't expect to have money when you were 17 years old. Not in those days. Mm-hmm. No one had any money. And I had as much money as everybody else. It wasn't no inspiration at all to me to be poor. And I wasn't poor at all. I was never poor. And I don't think it's particularly clever to be poor. You're not helping society by being poor. Mm-hmm. Some people can't help but be poor. And some people, they don't want to be poor, but they are poor. On the other hand, some people just aren't poor because they just work at not being poor.
Mm-hmm. So that...
I
those existed in that's a fairy tale.
I think so. I think it's especially with the Dutch, because they sort of, it's true that some people, especially painters and a lot of musicians, depending upon patronage in those days, in 18th century, earlier up to the 19th century, depended upon rich people and the bourgeoisie, basically, the only people that had money.
Yeah.
So if they did anything out of the ordinary at all, then they didn't get the patronage and they didn't get any money.
Yeah.
So a painter can only make one representation of his painting. So if he gets he can't sell it like in the street to ordinary people. But now, you sell records that they're sold to ordinary people. You don't need the patronage of the burghers of Amsterdam or Rotterdam. And if you shock them by painting them as they really are, you can still sell their reproductions on the street. It's not true, and that's what made those people poor. And out of that poverty came great art. But it doesn't mean to say they wouldn't have been great artists had they been accepted. They would have been different, but I still think they would have been great.
Mick Jagger blijkt dus zijn topografie wat Nederland betreft toch nog wel te beheersen. Een eerste vraag naar een historische beroemdheid waarvoor Mick Jagger bewondering zou hebben. Daar houden we het antwoord nog even op te goed. Nou dan over een arme... Ja, vaak wordt gezegd dat een artiest muzikaal moet leiden. Een artiest die muzikale werkstukken moet produceren, moet leiden. Om goede muziek te maken, dat ontkent Mick Jagger. Dat vindt hij onzin. Hij verwijst dat naar het rijk der fabelen. Je hoeft absoluut niet arm te zijn om goede muziek te maken. Hij zegt dat dat wel opgaat waarschijnlijk voor Hollandse schilders. Mensen die echt arm zijn en werken alleen met het doel om rijk te worden, zijn geestelijk erg arm, zegt Mick Jagger. About your performance?
No, not very much.
You don't pay any attention to it?
Oh, sometimes, but I don't like some people cut them out and have them, excuse me, have them delivered. But I don't bother with that. I used to.
Can you foretell interesting development in pop music besides punk?
No, I don't think so. And if I could, I'd be very stupid to tell you. But no, I'm not. It's just no. I think by in a year, that most everything like that's happening at the moment will be assimilated more or less into and regarded as ordinary. You can't shock anyone anymore about that.
So there isn't any future left for pop music?
No, it just reverts back to its origins. I don't think there's any future in it. Oh, for pop music there's always a future, but there's no real future. It'll always be commercially viable.
Yeah. In the whole period of existence of the Rolling Stones, you have seen everything.
More or less.
I suppose.
Yeah, I can remember when I was asked what I thought about Slade, I can remember what I always thought when I was asked about the Monkees. I mean, really. I remember going through the same thing.
The Monkees is... Yeah. Not really.
It's not that long ago. It isn't.
Well, long ago, where there was a favorite man in history, you would think of.
Oh, fuck. Oh, well. No, I'm not going to give you a favourite man or woman in history.
Maybe years and years ago.
And maybe Cleopatra's got to go down as one of the most interesting women. Cleopatra must go down as one of the most interesting women. And Kepler is one of the most interesting men.
Are you thinking of them?
Just off the top of my head. Yeah, a bit. Oh, Cleopatra making love with Kepler.
And you are thinking of Brit?
Oh yeah, all the time. And I hope she doesn't sue me for too much. I'm going to sue her back, bitch.
Cleopatra, dat was een favoriete vrouw uit de geschiedenis die Mick Jagger kon opsommen, na enig denken. En Kepler, een man die natuurkundig is met een specialiteit die op het gebied van de elektrotechniek ligt. Daar kwam Mick Jagger op na enig nadenken. Hij leest overigens weinig kranten, zegt hij, en zeer weinig kritieken ook op zijn optreden. Heel verstandig ook eigenlijk. Hij voorspelt weinig verdere ontwikkelingen in de popmuziek. En hij zal ook wel gek zijn als hij wist wat er zou komen. Dan zou hij het zeker niet aan mij vertellen. Het publiek is niet meer te chockeren volgens Mick Jagger. En de rockmuziek zal wel teruggaan naar het begin, want er komen zoveel oude, nieuwe dingen uit. Oude dingen opnieuw uitgebracht. Enfin, we gaan dit programma over de nieuwe live LP van de Rolling Stones besluiten. Met Sympathy for the Devil. Dat ook voorkomt op het album Love You Live.